In the 1950s, a rebuilding French military industry placed its focus on missile-carrying combat aircraft, and one product of the period attempted to make the SS-10 wire-guided anti-tank missile with an airframe developed specifically to carry it in the Potez 75 aircraft. The missile's design was credited to one Jean-Bastien Thury of Nord Aviation and was an early form dedicated tank killer, appearing at a time when the enemy of the West was the Soviet Union and its feared tank formations set to spell a future doom for most of Europe. Some 30,000 of these missiles were eventually produced and went on to see service with the French and American, as the MGM-21A, militaries for its time. This missile directly spawned the Potez 75 aircraft designed to carry it, but this aircraft became only a one-off prototype that did not enter serial production with any world power. The resulting aircraft's fuselage was slap-sided with the dedicated missile operator seated in the nose section and the pilot aft of him in a raised position. The two cockpits were, therefore, of stepped arrangement and had individual, lightly framed canopies offering fairly decent views out of the cockpit. The pilot's position initially had an open-air emplacement. A battery of machine guns were fixed into the nose section ahead of the missile operator. The wing main planes were straight-edged with clip tips, and the twin boom arrangement extended from each wing's trailing edges aft, each boom concluding with a vertical tail fin at the rear, and these further joined together by a single horizontal plane overhead. As a prototype, the tricycle undercarriage, fared over for aerodynamic efficiency, was fixed in flight, non-retractable. The aircraft was completed in all-metal construction. Rather uniquely for a combat aircraft of this time, the Potez 75 had its single-engine fit driving a three-bladed, variable-pitch propeller unit at the rear of the fuselage in a pusher configuration, this clearing the frontal section of the aircraft for unobstructed views and fixed, forward-facing armament. The engine of choice became the in-house Potez 8D.32 V8 inverted air-cooled piston engine of 480 horsepower. Proposed standard, fixed armament became 4x7.5 mm Mach 1934 machine guns installed into the nose. In addition to this, the aircraft was to carry several of the Nord anti-tank missiles. Dimensions of the aircraft included a running length of 30 feet, a wingspan of 43 feet, and a height of 8.9 feet. Empty weight was 4,000 pounds against an MTOW of 5,300 pounds. A first flight in prototype form was finally had on June 10, 1953, but subsequent testing revealed the aircraft to be a poor missile-carrying, missile-launching platform. As such, to save the aircraft, its original over-battlefield role was changed to that of ground attack, and provisions were introduced for carrying up to 8x air-to-surface rockets, these to be held under the wings. In this revised form, the prototype was pressed into active, direct combat service in 1956 with French forces during the bloody Algerian War, 1954–1962, and eventually proved its worth, resulting in a pre-production order covering 15 airframes. However, in light of a dwindling French defense budget the following year, the new, rather novel, combat aircraft was nixed from procurement and its development ultimately stopped. It flew for only a short time later into 1958, at which point it crash-landed in September of that year and was subsequently dismantled and destroyed.